Hi there and welcome to a video walkthrough of an iOS application that I'm currently working on. Now I've done a previous video to this one where I go into details as to why I built the app and the app's purpose, and it's a longer video. This is going to be a shorter walkthrough because it's basically to just demo the app as it stands now. It has evolved since I last did the video, so there's more features to the app now, and it's the UI has changed a bit as well. So I'm looking to just do a quick walkthrough of the app itself. So let's do this. The app used to be called Audio Mover. I've changed the name to Loop Manager because the app does a little bit more now, and the name reflects that. So if I open the app, and I'm using a mouse so you get to see where I'm clicking. So if I open the app, this is what the app looks like. And if we look on the bottom, it says that I am connected to the Wave on Nux or Nux looper device. I basically am using the Loopcore stereo looper pedal, and I'm connected to it via USB, and it recognized the pedal because I've connected before, and the app will retrieve any presets that are on the pedal. There are none now. Now, as far as the settings for this app, if I go into the settings on the right-hand corner, it basically works on the premise of a folder name that contains the various preset folders. In this case, it's a folder called Wave. We have a folder pattern, which is W number, which represents the number of the preset. So the pedal itself is expecting or has these folders that are W001, 002, and so on. So this is the pattern that the app will look for and interact with. The pedal supports 99 of those folders, so there's a preset number of 99 here. And the format of the pedal is 32-bit float. The audio format that the pedal requires is 32-bit float. So that's a setting as well. Now, if we're working, say, with the original Loopcore, that was 16-bit, so you would set the bit rate to 16-bit. These settings are amendable, and I've got a load from default config, which has a few pedals defined there based on their known folder structure, folder pattern, and the number of presets and the bit rate that the audio expects. So you can type in your own settings, or you can load it from the defaults that are up here. Now, again, I am connected to the pedal already, so, and it has no presets. Now, there's two ways to add audio files on the pedal. I can either drag and drop into this area a file, or I can click on this area to basically go and select a file that I will add, and we'll start with doing that method, and then we'll look at the drag and drop afterwards. So if I tap on here, it will go into my file selector, and I will go and select in this case, a Yurt Rock file. So I've got a demo pack, and I'll pick the artist series and the loops. And if I want to sample it before I put on the pedal, I would long press the file and then go to quick look, and it will show me this player, and I can play it. So that's listening to the file before I put it on the pedal, and once I tap the file, it will actually bring it onto the pedal. Now it's converting it, or will convert it, to 32-bit float, but before it does so, I'm presented with a dialog box for a volume adjustment. And if I play the audio, it will play at the equal volume, which is set at number 1 right now, and then I can go up or down by adjusting the slider. So I brought the volume down, the volume up. And if I keep it at 1, it's going to be at equal volume. And we'll see that it shows me a progression of the loop as it's playing around the player. Now, if I do have a setting that I like to use for these particular files, and I hit the save button, and it will save that setting, .64, that's the volume now. If I move this somewhere else and click on the set back from default or set from default, it will put it back to whatever default I set. So that's a quick way of setting a default volume adjustment that you want to work with. So this volume adjustment will come up every time I put a file on the pedal as a default conversion option, and I will click convert. Now it's converted the file to 32-bit with whatever volume adjustment that I selected. In this case, it was equal volume, and it put it in the next available preset on the pedal, which was preset number 1. So I've got a file in preset 1. Now let's look at the other method of adding a file. If I introduce the Files app by adding another window beside this one. So now I've got the app on the right and the Files app on the left. And if I go in the same Yurt Rock folder and pick another file, if I want to sample it, I can just tap it on it because I'm in the Files app now, and I can just play. And then if I accept or like it, I can just click it, hold it, and drag it. onto the drop area of the app. And then I'll see the same volume adjustment conversion pop up, and I will just say convert because I wanted an equal volume. So now we've got a file in preset 1 and preset 2. If I want to move these files around, I can click on the preset number, and it will show me the available placeholders of the 99 placeholders on the pedal, or I can place it onto one that's already populated, but it will replace what's there, or I can pick an available spot. Now, before I move a file, I can click to keep original. So if I move it from 2 to 3, for instance, it would keep it in 2 and put it in 3 as well, because I'm keeping the original. Or I can uncheck this and it'll literally move it from 2 to whatever I select, in this case, number 3. So now we've got a file in number 1 and number 3, and we see that I've introduced another drag or drop area in between the two, because there is an available preset between the two, number 2. So if I take a third file, click it and drag it and drop it, instead of on the top here, which would put it in preset 4, I will drag it in this area, which is going to put it into preset 2 and convert it. So now we got 3 files on the pedal, 1, 2, and 3, and those are now assigned to those presets on the pedal directly. And they are in the correct bitrate format and at the volume that I've selected. Now if I click any of those 3 presets, we'll see that there's a number of icons that appear that I can interact with that given preset. So now I'm sitting on number 2, and I've got these icons that are available. We already saw the selection of the different preset to move things around, but now there's these icons as well. So the headphones is basically a play. So it'll just literally play the audio once through. We've got the second icon as the pencil and paper, which is an edit icon. So if I click that, I can change the name to another name. So let's just say demo loop. And hit save. That will change the preset or the file name to demo loop. The third icon is a volume adjustment, which is exactly the same pop-up that we see on putting a file on the pedal, but it is a volume adjustment. So again, I can play it, adjust the volume up or down after the fact. So even though it's already on the pedal, I can still adjust the volume. And then the next icon over is a tempo, sorry. So that'll change the tempo of, it's a metronome. That'll change the tempo of the audio file. So if I click on here, I've got still to play, so I can play it, and then I can adjust the tempo up or down, similar to how I adjusted the volume, but now it's actually working on the tempo of the file. So if I play the file, I can reduce the tempo, or I can increase it. So whatever tempo that you are happy with at that play rate, you can apply the tempo. It will give me a warning that it's about to make a change to the file, and it will invariably affect the pitch. And we can say apply. And now if I, once it's applied, if I listen to it again, it'll be at that tempo that it's playing that I've just selected. So that's adjusting the tempo of the file. The next icon over is a trimming icon, so a scissors icon. And that lets me select, so I'll just open this, it'll let me select a start and end marker for the file. So if I wanted to say from 1 second to 3 seconds, that is what's going to be trimmed and preserved, so I can play it as well. Now if I adjust while it's playing, it will stop playing as I'm moving the marker, but it will start playing again when I let go of the marker. And I can change the... That would be the new loop, and I can apply the trim, and it will apply it to the file the same way that we've just changed the tempo. It will basically resave this as a new loop, clipped loop. Now this could be useful for song parts if you're looking for a practicing over a solo or a chorus or something. You can isolate the part of the song that you want, trim it out, and that'll become your loop, and then that'll be on your pedal. The waveform zoom lets me increase or decrease the waveform so that as I'm moving these, it will adjust the visibility of the waveform so that I can pick a start point. And then if I reset the markers, it will put the markers back at 1 or 0 and the end of the clip. So let's just trim this to something as such. And now it went from 6 seconds to 1 second. So if I apply the trim, it'll give me that same warning that it can be undone. And now I will have a, oops, sorry, I didn't click on it. There we go. So now I will have a trimmed clip. So if I play it, it's now a 1 second loop. instead of being the full 6 or 7 seconds it was. So that's the trimming, and then the deletion will take it off the pedal. So that we can do on any of the loops. So I can, again, listen to it, change the name, change the volume, change the tempo, trim it, and I can delete it. So it pretty does everything that you would expect to be able to do in an audio file for practicing over. Okay, so now let's look at the backup and restore. So there's a backup of audio files, which will take whatever's on the pedal, these 3 presets and these 3 files that are audio files. We'll place them into a backup folder of your choosing on your iOS device, and then restore it will take it from that backup location and put it back on the pedal. And the restore has a couple of options. You can either restore the entire pedal by deleting what's on the pedal presently. So if you had added presets since the backup, you would remove those, or you can preserve whatever's on the pedal and just replace what's in the backup. So those are restore options. And then there is a option to clear all the audio files on the pedal completely. So it will basically just remove all the audio files that are currently on the pedal. So that's the application as it stands now. It evolved a bit again from the first video, so hopefully that's useful, and have a great day.